viewers of Civic Space TV. This is Women Rise, Women at the Front Lines. It is a weekend and we are always here every Saturday at 3 p.m. We bring you amazing stories, encouraging stories, inspiring stories from different women. And today we have my namesake. She is called Nayiga. Yeah. So Rebecca, I'm so happy to have you today.
I'm very delighted to be here.
Welcome to Civic Space TV.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming through.
Thank you too for inviting me.
Yeah, how have you been?
Great. Great. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, we thank God. So
Yeah.
Rebecca is a mother. Rebecca is she is an author. She has written a book called Triumph of Grace. Yeah, she will tell us more about what is in the book. And then she is a survivor. She has gotten a kidney transplant. So she will take us through that journey. And yes, as you get to catch up with your family and friends on a Saturday, this is one of the shows that can really make your Saturdays colorful and wonderful as you keep learning from fellow women. And one of the ways you can support us as a woman, yeah, this is a women's space. So we are supporting women, we are supporting each other. So one of the ways you can really support us is watching, liking, and sharing our link. Share with your friends and family, and so that you follow all our social media platforms. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Yes. Yeah, let's get into the conversation. So Rebecca,
Yes.
tell our viewers, who is Rebecca? Tell us those special moments when you're growing up. What do you really remember? Those best basic moments that you cannot really forget about your childhood.
Okay. Rebecca Nayiga Kirima. Most people who know me actually know me from the Save Rebecca campaign, and others know me from the news anchoring Rebecca on Radio City.
Okay.
I'm a mother of one very cute baby, and professionally, yes, I'm a journalist.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a lover of writing, a lover of music, a lover of dancing, a lover of people. I love people. I just love. I love to love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Growing up, I went to Namagunga Primary School,
Okay.
Saint Teresa Namagunga Primary School, and being the only girl in a family of 7, I had 6 brothers. And I was the only girl, so I grew up as that very delicate and very loved child.
And I see why you love to love.
Yes, because
Because the kind of love that you received from all the brothers.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So for me, love, family is very, very important. Being the only girl, they took me to Namagunga in boarding P1.
Oh my God. P1?
Yes. Yes, I was in boarding school from P1, but I thank God because it has, I think being in boarding school from P1 has shaped who I am today.
Wow.
It has really shaped me. Being at Namagunga especially, you know, being at Namagunga, you will just not go wrong. You will be disciplined by force. There's no compromise about that.
Okay.
You will love God. You will, like we, at Namagunga, they teach you all these virtues of women. You have to be a woman. They tell us, don't run. When we are praying, the bishop would come and tell us, pray for your husbands. And would pray for our husbands.
Right from primary.
Primary. We used to pray for our husbands. Okay.
But I think I've also gotten that when I was growing up. Yeah, the person I grew up with used to tell me, right from the childhood, pray for your husband.
It's important.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Yeah, to pray for the person you're going to meet. You never know.
Because you never know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So I thank God that all those prayers were answered.
Wow. We thank God for that.
I cannot complain about my husband.
Wow.
I thank God. The most memorable childhood memory I have is of
It's not coming up.
I think they're all memorable.
They're all
I think everything
memorable.
was memorable because it was all.
I know that those the particular one, and you say I was stubborn at this, I was beaten at this moment.
Actually, I was never a naughty child.
Okay.
I was very disciplined,
Despite
despite being the only child.
Yeah.
I remember I had so many dolls. I love
Mhm.
babies. I love dolls. I just love anyway. I had so many dolls. Then I had this doll that had very long hair. Then my big brother one day told me, you know what? Because they cut off my hair to go to boarding. I had very long, beautiful hair. So my brother tells me, let's cut off the baby's hair so that she looks like you for now. And then after, the hair will grow.
Okay.
So I cut it only because I knew the hair would grow. And then I wait for months and the hair is not growing. I told my brother.
So what did he tell you? What was happening to the hair not growing?
He told me maybe the baby got sick, so the hair cannot come out. But anyway, my mother bought me another baby that had long hair. Yeah, but the memories I have of my brothers and my dad and my mom are all of love.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I grew up in an aura of love. It was all love. Everywhere there was love. Of course, there were moments like, but that was later. That was in S5 when I lost my brother.
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
That really hit us as a family. It was, I think, the first really sad moment in my life. I was in S5 though.
So from Namagunga Primary, you go to...
Okay, from Namagunga, I didn't make it to... everyone at Namagunga Primary wants to go to Namagunga, but I didn't make it, and that was really sad.
Sorry.
But yeah, they invited me to St. Kalemba girls, but my dad said no. So he took me to Nalia, where I was for, I think, 1 term. I got sick, I got diabetes. Yeah, I had to start injecting myself in S1. I was 12 years. Oh. So when I got diabetes, my dad was like, I think you cannot handle mixed schools. Yeah. So he takes me to Horizon campus. Okay. St. Lawrence, single. So I'm back to single schools, and of course, girls, like women, growing up as a woman. And I'm back to the other virtues. Yeah, then from Horizon, I went to... From Horizon, actually, I didn't do my S4 from Horizon because I committed a crime. I was not I was a very disciplined child. But you know,
so what happened
in
then?
Namagunga, they told us don't allow a man to pat your butt. You know that? That's a bad touch. Yeah. So one day I get out of the class and I'm going to the toilet, and the teacher on duty tells me, "You, Rebecca, where are you going?" And he pats my butt. Oh. I told him, "Sir, that is wrong. You don't pat my butt. That's a bad touch." So the guy gets annoyed with me and tells the headmistress. Then they say I've committed a big crime and they suspend me for a week. Okay. And when I come back, headmistress is like, tells my dad, Mr. Masengere, you need to punish Rebecca in front of all the other students. Like, I call an assembly and you punish her. So my dad was like, but what did my daughter do? She didn't commit a crime. Actually, I should have come and complained, but I decided to keep the peace so that I bring her back at the time you asked. She has already taken the punishment, which is 1 week, so she should be back to school. So the teacher was like, the headmistress was like, no, she needs to be punished. And my dad is like, no, let's go.
I'm not doing this to my daughter.
Yeah, so I went and did my exams from Chisubi High. Okay. Yeah, from Chisubi High, I went to Budo SS, so I did my S4. And while at Budo, of course, I took up positions. At Budo, I think I was more like of a strong woman and wanted to do things. I was in the debate club as the president. I used to read news every day at the assembly. At Budo, I was in another class, so people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that is more, that's how my life has been. From Bodo, I went to UCU, where I did mass communication.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lovely experience being at a campus where they're very strict about dress code.
Yeah.
And
As a principal child from Namagunga.
Yes, but Namagunga shaped me most.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's who I am today.
Yeah. Wow. Thank God for that.
And my parents too really shaped me. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, now we come to this book. You've written a book called Triumph of Grace. Why is the inspiration about
Triumph
this book?
of Grace? I've never actually thought of writing a book. When I was in school, I used to jot down things and pretend like I'm writing a novel, but things that would not really match up to a book that can be published. But when I got sick, when I got sick, I started seeing life in a very different way. Because I went through a lot of pain and a lot of things were happening when I was sick. So much was going on in my mind, in my body. Though I thank God that I had peace of mind, though I was sick. So when I was sick and I finally did the transplant in Turkey, after the transplant, the first thing everyone...
So the book Triumph of Grace comes in after you getting sick and getting the transplant.
Yes. Wow. It was actually part of my Thanksgiving package. Yes.
Okay, so when did you discover about this kidney disease?
Kidney disease.
Yeah.
I was pregnant. I was 2 months pregnant. And I told my husband, we need to go and see the doctor about the pregnancy. I'm diabetic, so I think we need to go and tell my doctor that I'm pregnant. So when you go and tell the doctor that I'm pregnant, he's like, Rebecca, since you're diabetic, you need to do some tests to just be sure things are going right.
Yeah.
So we do the tests. It was RFTs, they're called renal function tests for the kidneys.
Okay.
And when they check the kidneys, he's like, the kidneys are already failing and it's because of the pregnancy. So Rebecca, you cannot carry this baby for more than 3 months. You have to terminate the baby because it's either going to be you or the baby or both of you will die. He actually called for a meeting, called my brothers and my husband, and he had a big whiteboard, writing what is going to happen. And it was a terrible,
What was running in your mind at that moment?
I could not, Madreen, I could not imagine terminating my first, not even if it was my second, I could not imagine terminating my baby. No way. I looked at him and I was like, no way. Doctor, what are you talking about? He was like, Rebecca, it's either you or the baby. I'm like, no, I can't.
So you're not thinking about yourself.
So now when he calls my brothers and my husband and he's like, you guys, we need to decide as family, not just Rebecca.
Yeah.
We're either losing Rebecca and remaining with the baby, or we're losing both of them. Or if God accepts, the baby may stay and Rebecca dies. Because the baby cannot stay for more than 3 months. So when we sit in this meeting, they're like, yeah, we think Rebecca should terminate the baby. I think that was the saddest moment of my life. Because we traveled back home. We're not speaking, me and my husband. We traveled back home quietly, but on the way, my husband is like, you know what, honey? God teaches us virtues of obedience. And a doctor is someone that is working in God's hands. So we have to listen to the doctor. But anyway, we can ask God. Things can be reversed. Yeah. So he's like, instead of going home, let's go to Chiwamirembe. So we go to Chiwamirembe and I kneel down and I have nothing to tell Mother Mary. I just told her, Mother, you're a mother. Can you imagine your child being terminated at 2 months? Mother, please do something. Intercede for me. Like, tell Jesus. This cannot happen. I cried and cried. I think we were there like for an hour. And after all that, we went back home. I had gotten some peace. So they told us to go back for the termination in 2 days, I think. So we go back at 8 a.m. in the morning. It was always quiet moments. We would never talk in the car.
I know.
Yeah. Would never talk because I would just keep imagining my baby, like how do we do this to her? So we go, and the doctor is like, I got a gynecologist for you. So you're going to go to the gynecologist and terminate. You'll be here for, I think he said a week or 3 days. We had come with other things actually, a blanket and so we go to the gynecologist. And then she sees us and she's like, you guys are the ones. We're like, yeah. Then she's like, do you really want to terminate? I was already crying. I'm like, no, doctor, I don't want. I was the only one speaking now. I don't want to terminate my baby. And I think she really saw that.
The pain.
We were just married, hardly 2 years of marriage. And then this is my first baby, then termination. No, doctor, I don't want. So she's like, you know what, let's pray. We said 3 Hail Marys with the doctor. Me, my husband, and the doctor. 3 Hail Marys. And she's like, you're going to go back and do the tests again. The tests that you did the other time that determine the termination. So we do the tests again, wait for 2 hours in silence. In silence. 2 hours, the results were back, and then she checks the results. And she's like, yes, your kidneys are damaged, but these are not as bad as the other results that you brought. So this is what I think. This is going to be a very, very expensive treatment, but if you can handle the expenses, it was COVID meanwhile, the first COVID, then we can keep the baby. You're going to be seeing me and a nephrologist every week. Every week. You know what that means? You pay consultancy, they have to put blood on you, you pay medicine and all those kinds of things.
I know that wouldn't even cross your mind at that moment.
Yeah. Now in my heart I had forgotten about the kidney disease. All I knew is I had saved my baby. And I was very happy. Yes. Wow. So now we are like, yes, we have our baby. So we have to see her every week. I had to stop working. Told me to stop working and stay home. So I asked for leave from work. My bosses were very generous, were very nice. They accepted me and they kept paying me. So we keep the baby, keep seeing the nephrologist, and remember my kidneys, they keep failing. As the baby grows, the baby keeps damaging, the kidneys keep damaging. So they thought the baby would go up to 28 weeks, then we remove her and put in ICU. But then 28 weeks reach and the doctor is like, this baby is still fine, let's go on. Wow. 29, 30, 31. At 32 when we came for the usual reviews. COVID time meanwhile. You know, we're not allowed to move and all. She's like, you're not going back. I'm like, what's wrong? The baby is not moving and your pressure is very low. You're not going anywhere. We have to get the baby before anything. So we had to stay. The best bit of it was, we're not allowed to move still. Because my husband was worried now of moving alone. I was like his permit because I was pregnant. They would see the pregnancy and let him move. So the doctor, the gynecologist, gives my husband her coat, her ID, and her car. He tells my husband, go back home and pick things. If they ask you anything, show them my coat. Tell them I'm going to pick this doctor. Show them my card. I'm going to pick this doctor. And that's how my husband went, picked things and came back. And the next day, they had to check me every 5 minutes, check my pressure, check my sugar levels, check my oxygen, check everything. Every 5 minutes. Then these injections they gave me that were like fire. Actually, the doctor has actually told me you're going to feel fire, like fire. And they injected me and I felt fire. Yeah. So anyway, cut the story short, we finally had our baby, a very beautiful girl. And they took her straight to nursery. And she was so cute. They put her on oxygen, but she was still like fighting, kicking and all. And there was nothing as beautiful as me hearing that my baby was alive. Wow. Yeah. I detail that story actually more in the book. It is a much more detailed story. But because I know we have a very short time here, I can't say all the details. But it was such an experience. And I thank God because we have a miracle there. She's now in nursery school.
Wow.
And she's such a joy.
Wow.
She's such a joy.
What did you name her?
Marie Azeli.
Wow.
Dagire.
Wow.
Yes.
Maria.
Yes.
Beautiful. So I keep telling you, we have happy stories, we have sad stories, but I mean, we keep learning from each other. We keep learning from these stories.
Yes.
And I must say thank you to all the women that have really come through Civics to Women Rise to share their stories. It's not easy having people share their stories to the world. But if you have amazing people, you spare your time, we really thank you a lot. We don't take your time for granted. And yeah, Rebecca, we thank God for Marie.
Yes,
Yeah.
I really thank God.
Wow.
So it's from that pregnancy that now that
becomes,
I had given birth,
yeah,
now I had to start fighting for my own life. Yeah, I had to start
from childbirth, and then do you start the treatment? What were the results about the kidney by then?
So after giving birth, actually, they do the tests, the RFTs. Imagine the RFTs, the tests showed that I was fine. My gynecologist was so happy. I think it was because of the pregnancy, fine, eat everything. La, 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 la. Okay, I was so excited. Well, both excited, me and my husband. So I started eating everything. But meanwhile, I am swelling. Like my whole body is swollen. They're like, it's because of the pregnancy.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine within maybe a month or something. Yeah, baby fat. That's the word, actually. So baby fat becomes baby fat 1 month down the road. Meanwhile, my baby is not feeding because while she was in nursery, I had no blood. Throughout pregnancy, I had no blood. Yeah. So I kept transfusing. Yeah. So while she's in nursery, I'm transfusing so I cannot feed her. Yeah. They start her on a bottle. Okay. So 2 months down the road, baby fat is baby fatting. Like it is much bigger now. Like, what is happening? The results showed that I was fine. Why am I so? And I don't have any energy. I'm really sick. I can hardly carry her. I can hardly shower her. It was. It was not cool at all. And I felt bad because now it was just me and my husband. Yeah. And now my husband had to do some of the things, at night when the baby cries, carrying her and all. 3 months down the road, my aunties are like, what's with this baby fat that is not moving? Normal. Let's go. Like my aunties take me to one of the aunties took me to her home so that they, the thing they do, it's called kunyiga. Yeah, with the herbal leaves. So they start that on me. But meanwhile, me, I'm so weak, like so weak. So this one day, I'm really terribly weak and I rest. Meanwhile, my mom wants to see me badly. My mom was sick. Yeah, not so sick, but weak, old, frail. So my mom is telling my brother, I want to see my daughter. I really want to see Becca. My brother is like, I'm busy. I want to see Becca. 7 p.m. My mom called my brother. Come and pick me now. I want to see my daughter. My brother comes, picks my mom, brings her. We're in the village where they buried my dad. So when they reach there, they ask my auntie, hey, how is Becca? And she's like, yeah, same. She's resting. And my brother is like, even if she's sleeping, let me go and see her. So he comes to the bedroom and I am dead. And no one knows I'm dead. They think I'm sleeping. Dead, like dead. Yeah. Yeah. So my brother panics, carries this very heavy person. He tells me,
you're not responding to anything?
Nothing. Like totally nothing. I don't know. I was just told these stories. Because I don't know. The next thing I knew I was in ICU at Zambia. And that is after 5 days.
Can you imagine what mothers feel like?
If it were not for my mom, I would have died in the bedroom. So, so they take me to Zambia hospital and they put me in ICU. I was in coma for 5 days. On the 5th day, the doctors told my husband, Becky has not made it. You need to go and tell her brothers and the mom, prepare them, because tomorrow you have to take your Becky. My husband is like, doctor, what do you mean? Mm-mm. Becky cannot make it. We've tried our best and we realize she just can't make it. So she needs to go. My husband, instead of telling my mom and my brothers, there's a church in the hospital, St. Francis. He goes to the church and prays and asks for the intercession of St. Francis of Assisi. And tells him, I am not going to be... Sorry. They're called what? Widowers? Widowers. He said, I'm not going to look after that baby by myself. Get my wife back to her feet. He doesn't tell anyone else. But God and St. Francis to intercede and all the heavenlies. So the next day, after going to church, he just goes and rests. You know, in ICU, they don't allow them to sleep there. So he rests from somewhere else. He goes and rests. And the next day that they had said they would take me back is when he comes. And interestingly, he finds Rebecca looking. And Rebecca is like, where am I?
Wow.
Where am I?
Indeed, it is a triumph of grace.
It is.
Wow.
And you know, when my husband finds this, he's super excited. And he's like, let us pray. We start the Our Father prayer. I couldn't speak the way I'm speaking. So I was, Father, like that. And he was patient enough. He sailed along slowly until we completed the prayer.
So prayer saves a lot.
Yes. Yes. God can do the impossible.
Because I'm imagining after the doctors telling him, take your wife, if they had done that immediately,
would have gone to the grave.
Wow. That is faith. Wow.
Yeah. So now of course, like the whole time I was in coma, I was on dialysis. They would put me on dialysis, then back to ICU. Like they would take the whole bed to dialysis, then back to ICU. He tells me I once got it's called a heart something, where they have to pump you or something.
To pump the heart.
Yes.
To come back to.
Yes.
Okay.
All these are stories he tells me because I don't know anything. I didn't get to know anything. And now when I'm out of danger, I can say, they now admit me to the normal wards where I was for a whole month and doing dialysis. Yeah, then we decide on things like transplant, but we didn't have any money.
I know, because
we didn't have any money. Already being in
during
ICU.
the pregnancy also it was expensive.
It was expensive.
Now
this. Meanwhile, my baby is at my auntie's, not breastfeeding, poor girl. Yeah.
So you start planning for to go for the transplant.
From hospital.
Okay.
While I'm doing dialysis and getting treatment from here, from Uganda. We didn't have money. We didn't know where to start. We're like, people usually do car washes. Why don't we do a car wash? It won't work. You guys, let's meet up and make some money. People met and collected money, but it would hardly make 5 million. We're looking for 150 million.
150
And here
million.
we are making meetings and getting 100,000 or 50,000. Clan meetings.
And I know the times of COVID times,
people didn't have money.
It must have been challenging.
Very challenging. Very, very challenging. But my friend,
what did you do to get the finances? When do you go?
Judithiana, there's a friend of mine called Judithiana. She comes to see us at home. She used to come with her husband to see us at home. So this time she comes and she's like, but Becky, I have so many followers on social media. I think we can use my followers to get at least 10 million, and then we can see how to patch up the 10. And I'm like, yeah, that's a very good idea. Like, yeah, we shouldn't expect a lot. Maybe we shall get maybe five or 10 million using social media.
Yeah.
I'm going to post on my Facebook, but let's pray about it. So we pray about it. By that time, I'm on oxygen. Meanwhile, I cannot move. I cannot breathe on my own. And I use a wheelchair. That damaged me that much. I had to use oxygen like all the time in the car, at home, everywhere. I had to be on oxygen. So Judy starts a campaign called Save Rebecca campaign, 5K campaign. It was all over social media. It is COVID time.
Yeah.
Judy started the campaign when I was admitted on a Friday in the evening at around 7 p.m. You know what that means? Social media, 7 p.m. Friday, people out of office. They will not go to social media and start collecting 5K. No sooner had she mentioned than my phone started beeping, like all the time. On the first day, just the first day, within that short time, we collected 7 million.
The first time?
Remember, it's not even a full day. It's from 7 p.m. 7. Was it 7 or 9? It was either 7 or 9 million.
Wow.
To put it in a nutshell, within 3 weeks, I had 150 million. And Judithiana told people, guys, please, you can stop. We've gotten what we wanted. Thank you so much.
That is so beautiful.
3 weeks, I had 150 million.
Wow.
And we got an angel, I can call him an angel, who calls us and tells us, I have 30 million for you. That is not part of the 150 that you collected. It's not part of
the 150?
Yes.
Wow.
So now we have all this money, but my health is deteriorating. I'm on oxygen. I cannot breathe. I cannot sit. I couldn't do anything. It was February. I couldn't do anything. The doctors were like, Rebecca, there's nowhere you're going like that. They won't even allow you on the plane. So now treatment becomes even more expensive because they refer us to Nakasero, go to the Lung Institute, go everywhere. The heart was literally swimming in water. My lungs were swimming in water. So we used this money that we had now collected for transplant. I had to use it here.
Before you even get to travel.
So in September, we had only 40 million
left.
But the good thing, I had stopped using the oxygen. I had just stopped like this. My husband was like, we need to go. We need to go now. Otherwise, the money is getting finished. We need to go.
So you have 40.
Now we have 40.
I remember you told people to stop.
Yeah, we told people to stop. And we cannot ask them again. So my brothers are like, how are you guys going to go with 40 million? It's not enough. We're like, we have to go. We need to go. Actually, we need to go. Because if we don't do the transplant now, we shall not do it. It was faith anyway, because it was 40 million. It's not enough. And now we go to Turkey to do the transplant. My donor was my brother, then my little brother. We reach there, 2 weeks down the road, they tell my brother, you cannot be the donor.
Oh.
So they told me, we need a lady. Don't you have a sister? We need a lady. The lady would be best. And I told them, guys, I do not have a sister. I've never had a sister all my life. Like, try to look for cousins. It's not easy. Who are you going to tell, please give me your kidney? Who? How do you even get yourself to tell someone, can you please give me your kidney? So now we are back to zero. My husband is like, I have to go back home, look for another donor. But also they told me I had antibodies and they couldn't do the transplant with the antibodies. So we needed more, 80 million. Remember, the other one was done. And now we need more 80 million to remove the antibodies before they do the transplant. But I also don't have a donor. So my husband first of all, my husband first checked. And they told him, for you, no, you're obese. You cannot donate. Then, so he comes back here to look for someone to donate to me.
Where do you even start from?
So one of my cousins, an old lady, she's 48 years, but she had never gotten sick like all her life. She's like, I want to give my kidney to Rebecca. She's my cousin from mommy's side. Of course, I have little cousins from my dad's side, so many of them, but who would think of that? You can't think of getting your kidney out and giving it to someone. But this lady, old as she was like, I want to give it to Rebecca. So in December, my husband comes. We first check her, of course, from here. And she's fine. She's all good to give me. We match and everything. So they bring her to Turkey. And the first week, we go for the checks. Because they have to check you again in Turkey. And when they check her, they're like, you have diabetes. And she's like, since when? I've never had diabetes. They're like, you have diabetes. Well, also like, no, it's not possible. They checked her. She's fine. She's never had diabetes. So they check her the second time and the third time to confirm. And she indeed had diabetes. They're like, Mama.
So when she was in Uganda, what were they checking for?
They checked everything and they told her she's fine.
She was fine.
Yes. As for my brother, for him even went to Kenya. They checked him from Kenya. And they told him, you're the perfect match. And now, So now we are back to zero, looking at ourselves, me and my husband. Okay, so now what do we do? We told my brothers back here, can you look for someone? There's no one. They're like, maybe you guys should just come back. After all, you don't even have money. We didn't have money. Meanwhile, we're living one day at a time. The 40 million was long gone. It got finished in November.
So how were you surviving then?
My brothers were sending money every day. Sending money to feed, money for rent, money for dialysis, because I had to do dialysis twice a week. They were sending every day. I thank God for those boys.
Wow.
May God keep blessing them. And I love them so much. My brothers, they fought to see that their only sister remains alive. Yeah. They really fought. They fought and sacrificed all they had to see that I remain alive.
Wow. I mean, it's also beautiful having a supportive family.
Yes. Otherwise, I don't think I would be alive today. So we are now 2. And my husband was told that he's obese, so they didn't check him. They're like, okay, so what do we do now? We sat at the dining to have breakfast one day. And my husband told me, you know what? Let's go to another hospital. And they just check me and see if I can donate to you. That will be enough news for us to take the next step. So on a day that we're not going to do dialysis, we go to another hospital. And we tell them, we already know that we are obese. So now, just check the other things. Don't think about the obesity. Check the other things. Yeah. So they check the other things, and it's actually a perfect match for me.
Wow.
And they're like, being fat is not permanent. You can reduce. So they put us on diet and gym. 1 month down the road, he had lost, 3 months. 3 months down the road, December, January, February. 3 months down the road, he had lost, I think about 6 kgs. And then, because I did my transplant last year in May. Then I think 4 months down the road, he had lost 10 kgs. And that was the perfect.
And you're there.
Doing dialysis, eating, renting. And my brothers are sending the money. I thank God for them, really. So we now go back to our hospital where I'm doing dialysis. And we're like, I've gotten a donor, my husband. And they look at him actually, oh, you actually lost weight. Oh. So they still, of course, they would see that he had lost weight, but they were like, still, wait first. So they checked the weight. He had indeed lost 10 kgs. And they do the other tests. But now we're confident because we had already heard from the other hospital. They do the other tests and they're like, perfect match. Wow. We're so happy. Like, we're very, very happy that now I was going to do that transplant. So we're organizing now to do the transplant. 1 week to the transplant. the surgeon calls us for an emergency meeting. The main surgeon.
Jesus.
It was not even a day of dialysis. Emergency meeting. And he's like, I have some sad news for you guys. Like, what? He's like, you see, since you guys you're a couple, you have there's hope of getting children.
Yeah.
So it is very risky for Rebecca to have your kidney. She may get rejection. That's the last you can think of. So if you're ready for the rejection, we'll go ahead. If you're not ready for the rejection, we are going to try to look for a couple, because many couples are going through this. We shall look for a couple that's going through the same as you're going through. Then we shall do a cross match. Well, like, how long would that take? Remember, we don't have money for dialysis. Now telling my brothers, they already know that we are processing the transplant. So we now tell my brothers they have to look for cross match for us. So give us some more short time. But meanwhile, we had cried for the doctors and told them we don't have money. Please reduce for us the dialysis. So they had actually reduced for us the dialysis, the remaining sessions. So, yeah, told my brothers, and of course they keep supporting. But that very day, we had just gotten back home, and we got a call from the doctor, the surgeon, telling us he had gotten a couple from Bosnia, Medjugorje, that was going to cross match with us. Okay. And we were more than happy. Yes. So they travel in and we do the tests, and they are perfect for us. So the wife was not sick. She donated to me. And the husband, who was sick, my husband donated too. Yes. Wow. Yes. See how God does his things. Like someone you've never known, never even thought about. So, well, I have a white person's kidney. Yeah, and it was very exciting.
When is the transplant? Which month?
May on
last year?
18th, yeah, last year. 18th May. Okay. Yeah, was my transplant, and my baby's birthday is 21st May. So it was a perfect gift for my baby. Yeah.
So when do you come back?
After the transplant, we stayed for 2 months. We came back in July. July last year. And we got a hero's welcome. People were so happy. Others, you would tell them Rebecca is fine, and they're like, it's not possible. I'll first see her. Even my doctor has himself, when they told him that when my husband told him Rebecca is fine, he was like, I'll first see Rebecca walking. So the next day after transplant, I matched. He did a video when I'm singing. We are matching in the light of God. And he sent him the video.
He couldn't believe.
Everyone couldn't believe. I remember that day, when my brother picked us, he took me to the village to see some aunties. One of the aunties even ran off.
Am I seeing a ghost?
The guys are fine.
I know.
And that's what I've been going through up to now. The people who see me and they're like,
people can't still believe you're still
and then they take off. And when they take off and they're far away is when they start telling their stories and they're crying. Yes.
Terrible.
But in all, we're very grateful to God.
Yeah.
Because God does things that men think are impossible. Trust me, everyone thought I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it. But through it all, I had peace. I had so much peace that I couldn't also get it. You know, being in pain and you have peace. You're in pain, but you have peace.
Where does it even come from?
From God. From God.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm standing now, of course, after transplant. Things are not the same exactly like they were before.
Tell us something about life after the transplant. How are you managing?
Life after the transplant, every day is a miracle to me. I've learned to treasure every day and every person in my life. To me, every person is an angel because God sends you people and you cannot even know. So many times we are chasing away angels from our lives. Everyone is an angel. Everyone is a miracle. Every day is a miracle. So every day I'm thankful. Despite everything, I am thankful to God because He's brought me so far. Whenever I think about myself on oxygen, I see those videos, I'm like, this is how
Coma.
I was. I'm like, God, thank you. Like I said, thank you, and even tears just keep flowing out of my eyes. Like there's nothing I can do for God but to thank Him. After transplant, I'm grateful for everything. The medicine, we're on medicine forever after transplant. Immune depressants is very expensive. Really expensive. But I'm still thankful that I have medicine every day.
Medicine every day.
Yeah, to take. My brothers still support me. It's my brothers that have been in this struggle. They've really been in this struggle and they've never left me. Like they've really, really been there.
Were you the last born?
No, I have a little brother who was going to donate to me.
Okay.
I'm the second last, actually.
Oh, thank you, our brothers. Thank you a lot.
And for my dear husband, I do not even know.
I must say we are here with a husband. It is really beautiful having supportive fiancés, supportive partners. Yeah. So she prayed for her husband right away from primary. It is really beautiful that the husband is here. So pray for your husband, pray for your future husband when you still have time, when you're still young, before you meet them. God should really bring someone who will be there. Bad moments, good moments, you stick together. So our dear husband, we do thank you so much. So what I know the moments, the food after the transplant, do you still eat the same food? The effects on the body, did you get any effects on the body?
Okay. After my transplant, actually, my nephrologist in Turkey, the first thing she told me, the first thing I asked was, so doctor, can I eat everything? She was like, Rebecca, yes, I can eat everything. Doctor, are you sure? Like, okay, apart from two things, there's something called pomegranate, Coma mawanga in Uganda, which is really rare. I wouldn't mind not eating it. And something called grapefruit. Grapefruit is like an orange. It's a mix of an orange and a lemon. It's the only two things she told me not to eat.
You shouldn't eat. The rest of the food you're okay with.
Actually, yes. Yeah, that's what she told me. Though every kidney person, every kidney recipient has their own thing that the doctors told them. That's what my doctor told me. So I actually ate everything. Yeah, of course I tried to limit because she told me, you're going to get fat. I was a small size person. Now I've really gained weight. Because of the medicine, she told me. Because of the medicine. But for that, we try to work out. Yeah, they told us to work out as much as we can.
So you do work out every day?
Not every day. I would be doing it every day, but really, I don't do it every day. Though I try to work with my husband every day. But like working out, like going to the gym and all, I go to the gym only once a week, on Saturdays.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and then during the dialysis, I got some really big scars. I think you can see something here, and something this side, and it goes down. Yeah, of course I got scars, but all those are gold. They are totally nothing. I'm just grateful to God.
So you don't feel at any times of body weakness or you're losing this?
Body weakness? Maybe if I've not eaten food. Yeah, maybe if I've not eaten food, but I feel normal.
You feel normal?
Like you do feel?
Wow.
Yes. I feel like you do feel.
Okay.
I am very normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so, and okay, what should our viewers know about, in particular, something you would want to share, what people should know about the kidney disease? If we have, I know we have people who are going through the same situation.
Yes.
Kindly talk to those people.
Well, for people who are struggling with kidney disease, the best thing I can tell you is to trust in God and have faith. I know the pain. I know everything that you go through. But in all the pain, if you hold onto God and let him have his way in your life, he'll do what is perfect. You know his plan is perfect. So he actually does what is perfect for your life. If it's time for you to go, we thank God. If it's time to stay and glorify his name, which is the best if he thinks so, then be it. I always tell God every morning that his will be done and not my will. I have plans, so many plans for the day, but I tell him, Lord, may yours supersede everything. Yeah, I've learned to, in everything, to look at God. I can't look anywhere else. I just can't. Every advice I would give anyone, it is God, 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 and God. It is nothing else. Because it is God that does everything. Yes.
Oh.
It's all God.
God.
And I'd also like to advise partners to stand with their spouses. When I was sick, I couldn't even brush my teeth. I could not even hold a fork to eat. It is my husband who was my hands. He brushed my teeth. He bathed me. He fed me. He did everything. At night, I wouldn't sleep because he had to keep checking the oxygen. Is she breathing well? Should I increase it? Should I decrease it? He became a doctor. He became my doctor.
Yeah.
Yes. So if your partner also leaves you in that state, it also kills you.
True.
But when he shows you love.
Now I know that the peace that you had, where it
Yes.
came from. You had someone close by.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And also knowing that God was there within us.
True.
Because of my husband also kept telling me, God is with us through it all. He's going to do this for us.
And I think it matters, the two of you being so prayerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most times it's women who are really so much into prayer, believing in God, but I think it adds value when the two of you are really,
Yeah. Because when someone loves God, is like, is this going to be pleasing to God if I do it? If it's not pleasing, I'll not do it. So let me do what pleases God. And that is what matters. He will not shame God, and he will not shame you, and he will not shame himself.
Okay.
Yes.
So Rebecca, tell us more. You told me you're starting a foundation. Please tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm starting the Rebecca Nayiga Foundation. It's more of a foundation to help people going through what I went through. Actually, me as Rebecca and my husband, we already started. We go out to Chirudu to check on people who are struggling with kidney disease, to encourage them. And some people even call me, the partners that call me, like wives or husbands, when their partners are sick and they're depressed and all, they call me to go and talk to them. And yes, we go and talk to them, and it totally changes their mindsets. And that alone heals them. They become better because now they're not depressed. When they're depressed, they make the whole family depressed. The family becomes like a dark world. So we are going to, that is the first thing, of course, talk to people psychosocially, encourage them. We get partnerships with hospitals from Turkey because it's where we were. It's where we were for a very long time, and we have connections there. So if we can get those, then we can help people even get discounts on transplant. Yes. Then we realize there are things in Turkey that are not here. So if we can push for them and they get here as well, that would be perfect. There's some medications that help with potassium and phosphorus. In Turkey, they're actually given for free.
Okay.
Yes. So if we can get those.
That medicine here.
Yes. Because usually if you have kidney disease, your potassium is very high, your phosphorus is very high. If you can get those and lower those bits, it would also help. And then if God allows, want to really lobby for so many things for the dialysis centers here in Uganda, so that they improve, go for trainings and those kinds of things. Because there's a lot of difference between the nurses and doctors here and those in Turkey. was a very, very big difference. You see, in Turkey,
how is the experience compared to Uganda that side?
Uganda needs prayers. Like Uganda is where you would be, you're on dialysis, you're going through your own pains and all, and there's someone backing at you and telling you, what are you doing? Why did you get that off? But
Yet,
in Turkey,
it's not what you need at the moment.
Yes. In Turkey, you're on dialysis and you complain maybe of a headache. All the nurses come surround you, start massaging your feet, massaging your head. Like, oh, wow.
Wow.
In Turkey is where doctors are taking you like bosses. They take you like a boss. I had never gotten free medicine from any doctor. Never. Like, never. I'd never even imagined it. Free medicine from a doctor. In Turkey, my doctor, who didn't even know me much, used to come and give me pressure meds for free. And I'd tell her, doctor, don't I have to pay for this? Like, no, Rebecca, please. In Turkey, patients would get incentives from the bosses.
What is the difference? Why are Ugandans like this and then that side?
I just think Ugandan hospitals are so money-minded. The hospitals in Turkey, I'll say Turkey because it's where I went. For them, they're up to serving. They want you to heal.
Become better.
Yes, because we did the transplant before even paying the money for the transplant. And yet here, when they brought me in coma to a hospital, they refused to admit me.
Before.
They were telling my husband and my brother to give 1 million at midnight before they can admit me. But the person you're saying is unconscious in the car. Like, who does that? It was so insensitive. Because this I was just told. Me, I was unconscious. They asked them for 1 million to admit me. Yet they have a center called emergency.
So without it, no one can touch you.
Yeah. But good enough anyway. For me, I was blessed that my nephrologist came in and saved me that day. He's like, no, this is my patient. I know her. Let me take her in. They'll pay tomorrow morning. That's how they took me in. Otherwise, if no one knew me there.
And imagine, you talk of it, someone knew you there. So imagine
if no one knew me.
Our Ugandans, many our people who know no one,
They die from the cars.
You die from there.
They die. They do die. So a lot is lacking.
The foundation, who comes to the foundation? How do people get you? Yeah.
The foundation, we hope for the registration to be done next week.
Okay.
We're still registering, though we are working.
Yeah.
For now, we have not even gotten an office yet. But people usually call me. My number is everywhere. I don't know how, but it was on posters, I think. So many people have my number. Yeah. So they usually call me when they have issues with kidney disease. Yeah. Yeah, and we shall try as best as we can to help these people in whichever way we can. Yes.
Wow. And I thank you for that. I mean, giving back to society.
They really gave me.
Yeah. It's really good appreciating people.
They gave me when they didn't know me. Yeah. Though it was 5K, but people gave.
True.
They're not even giving 5K. Others would give 50, others 100, others 1 million, yet they asked for 5K. So I think.
So we thank everyone who contributed to Rebecca's campaign, and she's here. You can see her, she's here. We are with her today. She's sharing her story, and she's also trying to give back to society through her foundation, which we believe she'll register and then do a lot with this. Yes. So do you mind? Did you still give people your number?
Yeah,
our viewers who can call you, people can call you and you support them in any way.
Yes. Yeah. For those who need any kind of support that I am able to give, you can call me on 0782 078 612. 0782 078 612.
I think our producer will put the number on the screen, yes, for people to get the number, and you can reach out to her in case of anything. She can give you counseling. She can encourage you. It doesn't have to be all about money, but even talking is therapy. You can talk to her, she will lift your spirits up. And yeah, so also about the book Triumph of Grace, have you launched it? You did come, did you come with a copy?
Yeah, I have a copy. Yeah. I came with a copy actually. I don't know why I didn't bring it to the
how do
studio.
we get the book? How do we get the copy? Have you done the launch?
Yes, actually, yes. During my Thanksgiving, I did a Thanksgiving, maybe my third or my fourth Thanksgiving, because it's the one that was in town. That's why it's where I launched the book from. In July this year.
Okay.
Yes, July this year. I launched my book.
Okay.
At Christ the King.
Ah.
Yes.
So where do we get the book from?
The book you can still call me, but you can get some from Christ the King bookshop.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. But you can call me and I deliver to you.
So you can still support Rebecca. She's doing something for herself. Support her, get the book, read about her story. Yeah. And
all the proceeds actually go to the foundation. Okay. It doesn't come back to me. Yeah. It goes to the foundation.
Yeah, true. So you'll be supporting a lot more women and other people who are going through the kidney disease. Yeah. So I think your last words to our viewers, mainly the woman. Yeah, your last words to our women who are watching.
I know women out there who are watching. Some are married, maybe others are not married. Others are going through so many things. You know, life has so many challenges, so many ups and downs. But still, I would tell you, please look at God and tell him everything like he's your best friend. He will sort you. He will sort you. And don't fear to come out there. Like, come out with confidence because God is within you and he's the one to shine out in you. So trust in the Lord. He will help you overcome whichever challenges you're going through. And the women, I would encourage you to stand up bright and confident and take up leadership positions. Thank you.
Wow. It has been an amazing story. It has been so wonderful to have Rebecca Nayiga. Yes, thank you for coming through.
Thank you too.
It was indeed a triumph of grace that she is still here with us. Yeah, so many out there, if you would like to come and share your story with us, if you want the world to know about your story, please go to our comment section, tell us you're interested. We shall definitely follow you up and host you here in our studios. Thank you so much for being very good viewers. Thank you yet again. I've been your host, Madreen. See you next week. Bye.